So what is the purpose of AlcoholEdu?
Okay, well the purpose of AlcoholEdu is to provide all of our incoming students with a baseline of knowledge and skills regarding alcohol consumption. And basically we want them to have those knowledge and skills before they come on campus. And so AlcoholEdu provides us with an opportunity to have students do that in a timely manner, and then the company, we actually contract it out, and the company then can help us track which students take it, which students don't. We actually cannot see individual student answers to the questions, but we can get a sense of if a student has finished the program, where a student is in the program, and so we can definitely track and see how many students so that we can maximize student participation, and then, you know, knowing that they're going to come in with a certain amount of knowledge and skills based on what the program provides for our students.
How long has it been a program here at Clemson?
This will be our second year in the program. We actually have a 4-year contract with AlcoholEdu, and the first year we implemented it was last year in 2011. This year is the first year that we actually expanded to transfer students and to bridge freshmen. So, but our incoming freshman population, this will be their second year taking it.
What are some accomplishments you've seen AlcoholEdu do towards its purpose?
Well, I think right now we only have aggregate data from our first year. We don't get the data from each year until the spring, like February of the year following the incoming freshman class. So we have last year's data, and so one of the things that we get to know is, first of all, how many students are coming in as, you know, drinkers. Do they already have drinking behaviors that are of high risk drinking, or, you know, how many non-drinkers are coming in. So it gives us a good sense of, you know, what the student drinking behaviors are before they actually come to Clemson. And then we get to see in the middle of the first semester, have those drinking behaviors changed? Have they increased? Have they decreased? And then we look at certain protective behaviors the students might be implementing, and possibly the negative consequences that they might be experiencing due to their drinking. So when we look at that, it just gives us a good snapshot, and then what we do is we take that data and we compare it with some of the national instruments that we use as well, because we collect alcohol and other drug data from other instruments like the National College Health Assessment and the Core Alcohol and Drug Survey. And so it's sort of more of a layering. It's not like AlcoholEdu is the only thing that we look at, but it's a small picture of it, of an incoming class, and it allows us to see where we are in the process. And then once we get the data from this year, I think we're going to have a clearer picture as to how the program is doing and how it might be impacting our students over time.
Are there any issues with the program you'd like to see worked out? And if there are, what are they?
I mean, I think the program itself is probably one of the better online programs that I've seen. We researched a lot of online programs, and it is the only thing that I would say is it is long. The other thing that I would also say is I think that it could be updated. Some of the videos might seem a little kind of hokey, or, you know, and of course I've taken the demo about 5 times, so, you know, I might also be a little biased and, you know, feeling like I'm watching the same thing over and over again. So, you know, I guess I would love to see little changes from some of the videos, and possibly too, just I would love to see them do more of a follow-up, like wait a little bit longer to do a follow-up survey, because one of the things that AlcoholEdu does is they do a survey of students when they first take the program, and then they do a follow-up 30 to 45 days after they take it. I think it can be a little misleading because some students are probably only on campus for about a week or 2 weeks before they end up taking the follow-up survey, and for the most part, you might be getting a little bit skewed results, not, and so I think I would almost say either have another follow-up after that, like maybe a follow-up right before Thanksgiving, or maybe a follow-up in the spring semester. I know that the response rate would probably be a little bit less from students, but I do think it might give us a little bit more information as to how the program might be doing. So.
How did you personally get involved with AlcoholEdu?
Well, I think it was just a situation where I work with alcohol and other drugs, and and at the time that we were looking into doing online programs, I helped coordinate the online program that we did previously, which is the electronic checkup to go, which we still do have. But we were looking for something that was a little bit, basically a little bit more of a comprehensive package, and one of the things AlcoholEdu does is they provide us with the tracking mechanisms that eChug or the electronic checkup to go did not provide, and they also provide us with a little bit more of the research-based information that behind what they do, and I think that was really appealing for us, and also a lot of other schools were using it. So we're able to compare ourselves to other institutions, whereas other online programs don't necessarily have the volume of schools utilizing the program, and so it's hard to make kind of a national comparison, whereas with AlcoholEdu we really can do some kinds of national comparisons with the data.
Other than students, who in the school is involved with AlcoholEdu?
As far as, who's involved, is really just myself, and then the students end up taking it, and then we distribute results to different task force. We have an Alcohol and Other Drugs Advisory Board, which is an advisory board of faculty, staff, and students. And then also the Clemson Community Coalition, which is a coalition of community members, also includes faculty and staff and students as well. And we provide some reporting with that. But and then the other thing is AlcoholEdu data is also integrated into our goal teams, and we have a goal team that's specifically for the health and safety of students, and so they utilize that data. It's a student affairs goal team, and they utilize that data in their reporting as well. So it really is just kind of taking the data that we have and reporting it back out.
Can you describe TAP a little bit for me?
Sure. TAP is called, it's an acronym called Teaching Alcohol Abuse Prevention, and it's a program that is designed to be peer facilitated and to actually reach students within about the first 6 weeks of them coming on campus. We also expanded TAP to incoming freshmen, incoming transfers, and bridge freshmen as well. And each session is 90 minutes long, and it's facilitated by 2 to 3 peer facilitators. And one of the things we wanted to do with TAP is we felt that AlcoholEdu really provided an educational basis. One of the things we want to do with TAP is we actually wanted to have more of that face-to-face interaction, and also we utilize audience response systems, anonymous clickers, to really ask about behaviors that students are engaging in when it comes to alcohol use, and providing real-time feedback to those behaviors. And what research shows is that when you have sort of that small group feedback, that it provides students with information that might be a little bit more realistic about what's going on around them, whereas they might feel like drinking is the norm, but they might be in a group where if you're asking drinking behaviors, they realize that most of the people either are not drinking or they're drinking in a low to moderate level, whereas the perception might be that everybody's a heavy drinker. So that's one of the things that we wanted to do with TAP, is to kind of say, that not everybody goes out, and is intending to get really drunk. They may drink, but most people, if they do drink in a responsible manner and use a lot of protective behaviors to keep themselves and other people safe. And so I think that's the main point. And we wanted to kind of reach people. The reason we reach people at that certain time frame is because we wanted to reach them before they started to engage in routines that could be considered harmful. It's kind of like they're just trying to figure themselves out. We wanted to have them on campus for about 2 weeks before we started the program so that they had a Clemson context, or a context of college. And then we wanted to, but before they started to get into drinking routine behaviors. So.
Is there anything at this time that TAP is transitioning into, or is the program changing in any ways to accomplish something?
We are actually, TAP is looking into changing, and as far as we're trying to make our number of facilitators smaller, but they would actually facilitate more sessions. This past year we had about 46 facilitators. They do get a stipend. And the next year we're looking at paying them more and having them facilitate more sessions. And so we're hoping that will increase the quality of our facilitators. The other thing that we want to do is make the TAP a little bit less of information providing and more of let's have a dialogue, let's have more conversation about this. And I think that when you have less people who are more highly trained, you can have something that's high quality like that, and it's going to be useful for the students.
How can we as a student body get involved in TAP?
As a student body, I think is just really trying to understand that even though it is a requirement for our incoming students, is understanding that the purpose is to really it's really about the safety and getting students connected to the university, and it's not about telling students not to do something or talking down to students. It is really about saying we respect your decision, whatever that decision is, around alcohol. However, we want to make sure that you understand the risks, the inherent risks involved, and that there are ways to reduce your risk if you choose to drink. And so I think the main thing is having an accurate understanding of what the program is trying to accomplish. The other thing is also if somebody wants to get involved with TAP or even involved with the curriculum, is to really get engaged and contact our office and contact Caitlin Demansky is the coordinator of our TAP program, and she's great, and she would be happy to really receive feedback on the program if somebody felt like they had a great experience or a not so good experience. Having that kind of feedback really does help us inform our processes. So, and then if somebody is interested in becoming a facilitator, is just looking out for when the applications are and what that involves as well.
Where do you see both AlcoholEdu and TAP in 5 years?
In 5 years, I think our AlcoholEdu may be here. It may not. What we're looking at is over the course of our 4-year contract, we're going to be evaluating whether this is something we want to keep, or if this is something that we feel like we can replace with something else. As far as I still think we need something that's going to provide an opportunity for students to have that baseline of knowledge, skills, but AlcoholEdu might not be the answer to that. So after 4 years, we'll definitely reevaluate our contract with them and see if that's something, and it might be something too that our students can create some sort of online module that would be more Clemson specific, which would be great. We would absolutely love that, and that's something I definitely am going to be looking into the next few years to see if we can create something that is more of a Clemson specific program that students can take, where we don't have to contract out, and it'd save us some money as well. As far as TAP goes, I think it's something that we're continuing to have really great feedback on. I think we're always going to have the resistant students because it is a required program and it's a population level program, but I do feel that we are constantly evolving and changing it, and I know that in the future it's going to only get better. So with student feedback and with the help of students, we can really make this into something that's going to really going to benefit our students and ultimately our community, because we want to have a healthy and safe community. And I think that these two programs, they're not perfect. They're not your silver bullet solution to alcohol issues. They're just one piece of the puzzle, but I think it's a very important piece, and I think it's something that if we can start students off on the right foot and help reduce our risk right away, then we can then create an environment that's going to be less risky, and an environment where students understand at least understand the risk they might be taking if they choose to engage in drinking. So
Thank you.
you're welcome.